As we do at this time every week, we have Lisa Lanier on the line. She's our official attorney of this program. HireAHeavyweight.com if you need her. I keep hearing this term flock cameras over and over and over again. So finally, yesterday, I said to Rachel, what's a flock camera? I don't even know what that is. And then I found out what it was. It's basically, they're being used to show if people are, shoplifting from a Lowe's hardware or something. But a lot of people are upset by it because of invasion of privacy. Where do you come down on this? What's the legal angle on flock cameras, Lisa?
So they're all over the place. They're on the interstate. They're at all major intersections. They're in some parking lots, like you said, like I think Home Depot and places like that. And they don't just read your license plate. They also record the make and model of your vehicle and any identifying features about it. And so it kind of from a pure constitutional standpoint, it's problematic under the Fourth Amendment. That's what critics are attacking it, saying, they're tracking the movements of innocent people. And the foundation of our Constitution is that we are only to be surveilled and have our privacy invaded if there's probable cause that we've done something wrong. But otherwise, we should be at peace to move freely without being monitored and that sort of thing. It's kind of Big Brother-ish. But then you have proponents who are saying, look, this has been so helpful to law enforcement in terms of catching, criminals because you can track them. You basically, somebody commits a crime, they're going down the interstate and their vehicle just gets tracked everywhere there's one of these cameras.
Yeah.
And they've been super helpful with that. It's been abused quite a bit. One big example that's being kind of talked about is this Florida cop who used Flock 700 times to surveil his ex-wife's movements and things like that.
Is that wrong? Would you call that wrong?
Because the issue is they don't have to have any kind of warrant or any kind of show cause to use it. They can just sort of track anybody they want. And that is, just as a pure constitutional theory, that's pretty problematic. And the Supreme Court recently said, just this year, said that geofencing cannot be used, which is a similar technology, cannot be used without probable cause. So it kind of gives an idea that the Supreme Court would not be too keen on this, but a lower district court, who's been kind of the first to rule on this, just tossed a bunch of these cases and said, that's not a problem. I think right now what Flock is trying to do, because it's a brand, they are trying to put some safeguards in place where now they're not saving the data for as long, they're not making it as easily searchable and some things like that. And one concern people have is, are you selling it? Are you selling it out there to are we going to be targeted as consumers somehow by that?
But aren't we so used to that now because our phones are listening to us and I just sort of feel like anytime I'm out in public, I'm on camera. Don't most people feel that way?
I agree. I 100% agree. And I think that's where we're starting to see this area of the law where technology has gone way beyond what, the founding fathers could have ever dreamed up in a million years.
Right.
And so maybe it's okay, right? I mean, maybe it's, they didn't contemplate. And here's the other thing is that we all, under the law, and I think as individuals that we get this, you do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy once you leave your house.
No, and I feel like people are on camera, behind the cameras, making fun of my posture quite often.
They are.
I know that.
Definitely.
I'm almost positive that's
I do that just in this building. I can see the security cameras.
And, I mean, listen, can a man not track his ex-wife a little bit? Jeez. I mean,
it's only, what'd you say, 700 times? Okay,
Gosh.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Enough already. So you think at the end of the day this is going to stand up, or do you think it'll go all the way to the Supreme Court?
Well, if the Supreme Court's geofencing ruling is any indication, then they wouldn't be too happy with it. But I think it's a tough call because it is so helpful to law enforcement, and it is, like I said, day and age now where maybe the Constitution, didn't have, even the founding fathers didn't have the ability to contemplate this sort of thing, and so you might not be able to have a kind of a pure application of it.
Exactly. Another one that's got me puckered today is a legal battle. The story is called Baby Gabriel. There are some parents that are fighting with a surrogate mom named McKenna West. Now, let me see if I've got this right. She's carrying the baby for the couple, and about 20 weeks into the pregnancy, they realize that the boy, Gabriel, who's going to be born in August and now has been born, would have a heart defect and would cause all sorts of problems, and they'd have to have surgeries that would be very expensive, and it would be very difficult for the child. But so the parents now, the would-be parents say, all right, we're going to terminate the pregnancy. The woman carrying the baby says, I'm not terminating this pregnancy, and goes to Texas, where it's difficult to do that, and has the baby. So now the battle is who gets custody of the baby and who's paying for these surgeries. And so far, the couple has paid for the first of 3 surgeries. What's going to happen in this case, Lisa? Because, again, this is serious business. What's going to happen here?
Well, and from a jurisdictional standpoint, this case is like a law school exam question because the surrogate lived in Alaska. Mm-hmm. The parents who hired her lived in California, and then she bolted to Texas when the abortion thing came up. So you got 3 possible jurisdictions. But what has happened is that the bio parents, they have custody of the child. They do not call him Gabriel. That was what the surrogate called him. They call him Rumi, R-U-M-I, like the poet. And basically, they are paying for these surgeries. It's a treatable condition, but it's something that the child is going to suffer through a lot of medical problems, especially in the first years of life. Minimum of 3 major heart surgeries. And they had this pregnancy termination clause in their surrogacy contract, but those are really hard to uphold because it's considered against public policy to tell someone that they have to do something that's a medical procedure like that. And so I don't think their lawsuit against her is going to stand up, but she's now seeking custody of the child. I think she loses on that. I think, because now that it's born, they're like, look, okay, we didn't want to bring a child into the world that had to go through all of this, but now that you have, he's ours, and we're going to take care of it.
They're going to take the baby. God, I'm a little surprised that they couldn't force her to do that. I felt like she would sign the paperwork and she'd have to do what they say, but I guess not.
No, it's really hard to, you can't put clauses into contracts that create these weird obligations, like to have a medical procedure. That's not ever going to fly.
Man, I don't know how you lawyers do it.
Regardless of how you feel about abortion, it's just any medical. You can't contract about things like that.
I don't even like to say the word abortion. I hate that word. I hate that word. I don't like to say like the Constitution and all that stuff.
Constitution is a tough one.
All those words. I don't know how you lawyers do it, and like the first case with the mental aspect and the killing of the kids and everything. I just can't do it. I don't know how you got through it, man. This one I could handle. A woman who says that a fake Kenny Chesney took her for $300,000.
Well, that's because you've been scammed.
That's right.
You relate to this one.
Okay, I can relate here. She says Kenny Chesney went online, a fake one, and took her for $300,000. So she's suing the real Kenny Chesney and said, "You should have warned me."
Kenny?
Lisa, I'm on her side. I've been scammed. I'm on her side.
No.
Lisa's the woman I called when I was sitting in my closet with my football helmet on crying.
She should have warned you about that pine straw.
She should have warned me, Jacques Montavious. She said, "Be careful, Jacques Montavious is on your porch."
You should put your football helmet on.
I guess this woman's going to lose. Do you think? She can't win that, can she?
She already lost. It's really terrible that celebrities have to endure this kind of crazy stuff. She lost at the trial court level. Then she appealed. Okay. And then she lost her appeal. So this lady was hell-bent on making Kenny Chesney pay for this scam she fell victim to. But it was ridiculous.
Kenny Chesney, what a jerk. He should have told her. Somebody's pretending to be me. Here's the other one I got into. This was in New York City. Biggie says this is probably the worst parks worker of all time. A girl who was 10, found an M80 firework in the bathroom of a park, went up to the park's worker, who's 24 years old, and said, "How do I light this?" He goes, "Oh, here, let me give you my lighter."
Yeah, let's do it.
Unfortunately, she blew some of her fingers off. He's in trouble, I would think, Lisa. Fired, and is he also facing legal charges?
Yeah, he's been arrested. Yeah, this is, I'm a boy mom, and I can tell you that frontal lobe development probably doesn't happen until about age 30.
Yeah.
This kid is a good example.
No kidding, yeah.
Of that. This guy, he was arrested and charged with both reckless endangerment and child endangerment. They are both Class A misdemeanors. He faces a maximum of 1 year in jail. He has no priors. Probably the worst thing, really, for him is he lost that really cushy government job he had.
Yeah.
But now he's...
Had that easy job.
The dumbest thing.
You're right about that frontal lobe. Listen, when I was 24, if some girl had said to me, "Can you light this?" I'd have been like, "Yeah."
Here you go. And the worst thing was, he didn't even just help her light handed her his lighter. It's like, okay, go play.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's right. Oh, my God. Woo! Lisa Lanier, tour de force, because these stories I don't like getting into. You know, these are the tough ones here today. But I am now going to really pay attention to this Lindsay Clancy story. That's something. When is it expected to be done? Do you know?
Yeah, it's going to wrap up. It's going to go to the jury probably like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. It's their final witnesses today, closing arguments Monday or Tuesday. Jury will probably have it middle of next week.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that, and we'll probably talk about it again next Friday. Lisa, fantastic as always. If you need her, it's hireheavyweight.com or lanierlawgroup.com. She's president there. Lawyer up every week on this program. Fantastic, Lisa. Thank you again.
Have a great weekend.
You as well. There she goes.